we launched about 10 days ago. I will provide you with a presentation about the Transdisciplinary Research Program, the TRP. I will give you an introduction, and my colleague Ertin will go into the application form and what information you need to submit in order to be eligible for this program. So this Transdisciplinary Research Program, or the TRP, in short, seeks to provide a collaborative space where knowledge, methods, and experience from multiple disciplines work together. Basically, we wanted to provide a framework where different stakeholders from different sectors work together from the beginning on challenges, on global and European challenges, which we believe cannot be addressed by one sector alone. Basically, we want to bring together academia, policy actors, industry, and civil society in order to work on these complex challenges, or as some call them, wicked problems. If I can give you an example, for example, if we are speaking about the traffic situation in Malta, we would need different stakeholders to come together. For example, the academia will bring the engineer and the sociologist who will model the road network, and the sociologist will study the commuting behavior. We would need an organization from the public sector, a public health researcher who would look at the air quality. But we would also need the private industry, like the transport operator, who would know what passengers actually do when they use public transport, and a community group. This can be an NGO or a not-for-profit organization who will understand how residents might react and why they might resist change. So what the TRP seeks to do is to bring together these stakeholders in order to have scientific relevant solutions, but also solutions which reflect the lived experience, the way people live on a day-to-day basis. As I said, the TRP requires four consortium partners. So you would need to form a consortium in order to be eligible. Basically, we need a research and knowledge dissemination organization. This is usually a university or a higher education institution. Obviously, it can be coming from the public or the private sector. We would need the private sector. So these are entities usually registered under the Companies Act. It can be a company or a partnership. We need a public entity, so a ministry or a public sector organization that would make sure that the project being developed reflects government policy and government priorities. And we would need also a societal organization, which is usually a not-for-profit entity, like an NGO or a foundation, who would represent the citizens and the end users of the project. Now, the TRP was designed to reflect European and global challenges, as I said. Basically, we mirrored the TRP on the missions of the Horizon Europe project. The Horizon Europe project, as some of you may know, is the EU's flagship program on research and innovation, and they have 5 missions under the Horizon Europe, which work towards very specific challenges. Basically, there are 5 challenges: the adaptation to climate change, which seek to establish at least 150 communities by 2030. We have the cancer mission, which seeks to improve the lives of more than 3 million people by 2030. The climate neutral and smart cities, which seek to deliver 100 climate neutral and smart cities, the same by 2030. The soil deal for Europe, which is about establishing 100 living labs and lighthouses in member states and associated countries, and the Restore Our Oceans and Waters, which seek to protect and restore the health of Europe's waters. So what we are looking in our TRP is to address these challenges, is to have projects that somehow contribute towards having these goals in place. Our goal is to have at least a project in each of these missions. So a project made of Maltese consortia who will work towards these goals. Now, the focus of the TRP is on impact. So although we can accept some form of research as part of the project, it should not be the main activity. In fact, we are looking at projects in which the main actions are technology readiness level 5 or above, and this means that projects must already have a working concept and should be moving towards real-world testing and deployment. The key pillars of the projects should be to build technical, administrative, and investment readiness, combine research, innovation, demonstration, and real-world implementation, and also hopefully to position Malta to participate more in Horizon Europe mission calls. What happens after the project ends, and these are 24-month projects, is quite important to us. Obviously, we would very much like that projects continue after our support finishes, and one of the vehicles to continue such projects and obtain additional funding is by participating in Horizon Europe program. So obviously we would very much welcome projects that have the goal of submitting projects under Horizon Europe. Now, these are examples of the deliverables that we are looking at in the TRP. As I said, we are very much focused on impact. Obviously, impact with innovation. So we are looking at innovative methods, innovative pilots that will deliver impact. For example, a pilot tested in real environment. With results, a scale-up roadmap with named partners, and a realistic funding pathway, or for example, a live monitoring dashboard which will aid decision-making. And then there are other examples that you can look into. Being somehow more tangible, we have come up with additional examples of tangible outcomes per mission. For example, in the adaptation to climate change, you can look into developing a heat island mapping tool built with climate scientists, urban planners, translating temperature and land use data into mandatory green infrastructure conditions on development permits. So every new building in a high-risk area is required to be part of the solution. Obviously, there are other examples. These are just examples. Maybe some projects are already underway that that work on these examples, but we wanted to show, the kind of very tangible actions that we are after. For example, on smart cities, one can look into a cross application linking transport, health planning, and environment data to enable evidence-based policy that currently can't happen because the data sits in silos. And on the the restoration of our waters, maybe one can look into a fisheries co-management model built with fishing communities using real-time data, or a circular blue economy pilot turning marine waste into commercial products. As I said, in every case, we are looking at something operational, hopefully something which a decision maker can use, and hopefully something which, in one way or another, can be of benefit to a community of users. These are the evaluation criteria. As I said, impact is the most important for us, so it's the one with the highest weighting. Here we are looking at the alignment with the mission objectives, the Horizon Europe mission objectives, the benefits to community members and to stakeholders, and the kind of dissemination and exploitation plan that you are proposing. Implementation is the second most important evaluation criteria. And here we are looking at the skills and resources in the consortium, the kind of work plan and deliverables that you will work with, and the risks and budget that you are requesting. Excellence is obviously also important, but as I said before, since we would not like the project to be very much focused on research per se, but rather focus more on impact, it is being given 25% as weighting. And here we are looking at the project goals and objectives, the novelty of your project, what are you proposing, which has not been done so far, and which has not been explored so far, and if there is any upskilling of the consortium partners. You have to attain the thresholds in all the three criteria, and you have to attain an overall mark of 65% in order to pass and be eligible for funding. The TRP is we're calling it an ecosystem builder. It's a catalyst. It's like an enzyme, something which really tries to speed up and tries to make stakeholders work together. Maybe, obviously, as you know, Malta is a very small country. People know each other, but maybe stakeholders know each other, but they have not as yet worked together. We hope to make stakeholders work more together. These four types of stakeholders we are after, as I said before, research and knowledge dissemination organizations. We are after private sector entities. We are after public sector entities and civil society organizations that come together around the table, design a project proposal, and hopefully, if they get funded, start working on the project, and attain, some kind of impact towards the goals of the Horizon Europe mission. So, as I said, we are after translating science to impact, and we are after the bulk of the actions in the project being TRL5 or higher. So the scheme in brief, the program rather in brief. The call is open. It opened on 8th of June, and it will close on the 6th of August. We hope and we want the projects to start in January 27. We would need to sign the grant agreements by October this year. The projects will be of 24 months. The maximum grant is of 300K per consortium. We put a threshold of 20%, which is the minimum share per partner, and we did this on purpose because we want all the 4 project partners to be active in the project. So we want all the partners to have at least 20% of the total project grant. The aid intensity is 100%. So strictly speaking, the costs of implementing the projects will be fully funded through the program. However, obviously, we would very much welcome additional funding from the partners themselves or from third-party collaborators. And as I said, we need at least 4 partners from the 4 different sectors that I mentioned previously to make up the project consortium. So that's the TRP in brief. Ertin will now give you more information on the application process itself, and then we are very happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Isabel. I will be now sharing my screen. So I will be sharing with you the application for the TRP, the application process. So we will go through the application routes, the de minimis and the non-state aid routes, the application form structure, the 7 key sections, the technical components, the budget guidelines, declarations and documents, and some small tips for submission. So the application routes are called option A and option B. Option A is the de minimis route. It is for private sector companies and NGOs. It is a limit of 300,000 euro over 3 fiscal years. And it is mainly for organizations that have economic activities. The option B, the non-state aid route, is only for public entities and knowledge disseminating organizations, like the University of Malta. They must be non-economic entities, and they must provide a clear justification of non-economic activities. So for option A, the de minimis route, the key rules are the 300,000 euro gap. Like we said, they need to be private sector entities and or NGOs, and they must state a declaration of all the state aid that they have received before this program. More information on the non-state aid route. Here we have some example of the eligible bodies, like the University of Malta, the Malta College of Art, Science and Technology, MCAST, government ministries, and other RKDOs, which are research knowledge disseminating organizations. So they must have these non-economic activities, and clear justification is required to demonstrate the non-commercial nature. So here we can see the structure of the application form. In section 1, we'll have the proposal details, like the title, acronym, and the abstract. We have the applicant details, the option B specifics when applying with non-state aid, the technical component, the budget, the declarations, and any additional documents. So in section 1, we can see, like we said before, we have a project title of a maximum 200 characters. The project acronym, which must be a concise, memorable abbreviation. The sub-area selection, where you select the most relevant domain from the available list of research areas. And the project abstract, which is a clear, compelling summary outlining the core idea. In section 2, we have the applicant details, where there are sections for the lead and the other partners. The lead partner must state the full legal name of the organization, the registration number, VET number, registered address, contact persons and roles, and email addresses. Also, for the partners, they must submit their details. They need to state the role in the project, the budget allocation per partner, the signed collaboration agreement, any academic partners that qualify as RKDOs, and there are no set limit of partners here. The option B specifics is only for the non-state aid route. It's for public entities and RKDOs. They must provide a clear written justification of the non-economic nature. They must demonstrate that these activities serve as public interest or knowledge advancement goal without commercial exploitation. And they must clearly separate any economic activities from the project scope. Section 4 is on the technical components of the project, where we address the excellence, impact, and implementation of the project. So the excellence part needs to state the state of the art, the aims and objectives, and the advancement beyond the current knowledge. So, sorry, there is some noise in the chat.
Oh, signore.
So the impact part shows the improvement, the dissemination, and alignment with the Malta Vision 2050. And the implementation part shows outlines the deliverables, the milestones, and work packages. So here, more details on the excellence part. We need to state our aims and objectives. We state what are the concrete outcomes, the state of the art. We summarize the current knowledge landscape and the advancements beyond the current practice. In the impact part, we must demonstrate meaningful impact, both scientifically and strategically. We must show the significance of improvement, the dissemination measures, the link to the smart specialization strategy of Malta. We show the link to the Horizon Europe missions and to the Malta Vision 2050. The strategic alignment here follows three pillars: the national strategy, the innovation strategy, and the EU framework. And the national strategy of Malta is Malta Vision 2050. It is the long-term development vision covering economic, social, and environmental sustainability. The innovation strategy is the RIS3 smart specialization strategy, which is defining the priority areas for public R&I investment. And the Horizon Europe missions are the 5 missions which are the topics for this program. The implementation plan. In the implementation plan, we must state the work packages. Work package 1 must always be the project management. We should show the deliverables, up to 10 deliverables for each project. The milestones, we need to define the key milestones, like checkpoints that demonstrate the project progress. We need to show a Gantt chart to see the timeline for every deliverable. And the percentage weighting assigned to each deliverable must total 100%. So the work package structure, here we see that each deliverable must be assigned a percentage importance value, a maximum of 10 deliverables. All deliverable percentages must total 100, we said, and deliverables must align with the Gantt chart timeline. Here we have an example of a Gantt chart. On the left side, we see the work packages 1 to 4. On the top row, we see the months from month 1 to month 12. And we can see how long each work package takes clearly through this chart. In section 5, we need to state our budget. So the personnel costs, the staff costs for researchers and support persons working directly on the project, the equipment costs, subcontracted activities, consumables, travel, which is capped at 5,000 euro if needed, and 20% of indirect costs are overheads. So personnel costs are based on these topics. So eligible staff for personnel costs are researchers and support staff directly assigned to the project activities. Staff must have clearly defined roles and time allocations expressed as pairs in months to a maximum of 215 days per year. The calculation methods must be calculated based on the total charge-out rate. It's better we need to submit employment contracts, pay slips, and timesheets. And some ineligible costs are personnel costs for staff not directly working on the project, recruitment fees, and subcontracted labor. So for equipment, we can fund the depreciation costs, not the full purchase price. This depreciation cost must be calculated using internal procedures. Equipment may be leased for the project work. It is also eligible. The overheads are a flat rate of 20% over the direct costs. These are to cover unplanned or minor expenses. They are automatically calculated, so there is no itemization. They need to absorb all the audit fees with this 20%. And this is applied to eligible direct costs only. So travel costs, as we said, are capped at 5,000 euro. These are for attending any relevant conferences, for project partner meetings, for research site visits, and they must be all project related. Other subcontracted activities include like they need to be clearly justified in the application. Subcontracted activities they have not to be not the core of the research activities. Procurement rules must always be followed, and contracts are required before claiming the costs. So the schedule for funding for disbursement is a 50% pre-financing, which will be provided upfront upon signing of the grant agreement. Then the mid-project payment of 30% would be disbursed following a successful review and submission of progress reports. And the last 20% is a retention payment that would be released upon the project completion. So when you submit the final report and successful audit verification. So in the declarations part here, we need to, in section 6, we need to submit the state aid declarations, the compliance declaration, the signature for the authorized signatory, and a declaration of accuracy for the data provided. Any additional documents include CVs of participants, and financial documentation like audited and management accounts for all undertakings under the de minimis option, and supporting documents that may strengthen the application, like letters of support, ethics approvals, collaboration agreements, or any preliminary data. Some tips for a strong application are to submit both a signed PDF and an editable Microsoft Word document, to state your intent to apply for Horizon Europe projects in the future, to have a good quality abstract, to make it as concise and compelling as you can, to set the tone for the entire application, and to have a precise Gantt chart mirroring the deliverables timeline precisely. So after submission deadline, the proposal will have an eligibility check, where we check for compliance and the completeness. Then we will have independent experts to evaluate the technical parts, the excellence, impact, and implementation. Then they will be scored and ranked according to the evaluation. And there are some tiebreaker rules that apply for projects with identical scores. The grant agreement then will be signed if successful, and the project will then commence in January 2027. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or type in the chat, or we can take them also in this email address here. So are there any questions?
Well, I have a question, if I may.
Yes.
So for the work package, would you recommend structuring the work package around technical development or around mission-oriented outcome and social impact, for instance?
I think they need to be stated, both of them, because the intent for the missions will give you a boost in your application, and will make it more likely to succeed.
If you, for instance, say that the percentage of this, what would you prefer on that?
It's better if we maybe take your email and we will answer you later on this. If you write, you can send us your email here. We can give you a more precise answer on this.
Surely.
So if there are no more yes, the PowerPoint will be shared with the attendees later on. And you can also email us here at any point before your submission. So if there are no more questions,
There is another one.
there is another question. Okay.
Yes.
How many projects will be awarded funding?
Our plan is to, as I said, is to address the areas of the missions in Horizon Europe, which are 5. Having said that, it depends on the number of projects that will be submitted and on the quality of the projects. Our high level plan is to have between 4 and 5 projects awarded, but obviously it depends on the budget. The maximum is 300K per project, but if we have obviously projects, I don't know, maybe some projects will request less funding, which I doubt. Maybe we can award more, but the plan is to have between 4 and 5 projects.
I have also another questions, if I may.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, is it preferable that each consortium partner own a complete work package, or can several partners join and contribute to the same work package?
No, definitely more than one partner can contribute to the same work package. Usually there is a lead, a work package leader who will be in charge of making sure that all the tasks in the work package are implemented. And the leader can have also a co-lead, to assist in the project management of the work package. But in a work package, you obviously will have different tasks to be implemented, and you will have different partners responsible of implementing those tasks, obviously mirroring their skills and their area of expertise. So you can have multiple partners working in a work package, but you would have a leader who is overseeing the implementation of the work package, and the leader can be assisted by a co-lead who will help in the monitoring. I mean, the co-lead role is not mandatory, but the lead role in a work package is very much needed, obviously, because we will, the lead, then you will have a leader of the project himself, the leader who we will communicate with, and the leader will communicate with the work package leaders. I don't know if I explained
responsible.
Did you understand what
Indeed.
the structure? Yes.
Very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Are there any more questions? As Ayrton said, you can send us your queries by email. We are also available to meet if you need. We can meet up with you and discuss your ideas. So it's quite a collaborative process. We hope to have good proposals that we can work with. Thank you for coming, and I wish you a good day, and
good luck with your submissions.
Good luck with your submissions.
Thanks and good day.
Good day.